makes it more, make listening more easy. That's all. All the things that make listening more easy. We'll just talk about it, and then I do a kind of rounding off, and then we move. You can hear me? Let me just say yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you. I'm trying to get the links that you can spread it
Yes,
around.
I can hear you.
Yeah, listening and answers. So we can share this around. If you're on any of the platforms, please kindly help me write, we have started. Please, if you can do that, that would be helpful for people that probably wants to join. Somehow they will be able to see that. Thank you. That's great. Maybe somebody might just join because you send that message. All right. Okay, so I want this class to be an interactive class, if it is possible. I want, if it is possible, for everyone to say something. Just, one way or another. I want us to be involved in the class. It's a way to test how much we have been involving ourselves in practice, and then to be able to see how we can, help ourselves to probably get better. All right. Somebody sent a chat. Let me see. Yes. Okay. So, our videos is expected to be on. It helps for coordination and connection. If you have practiced now, and this will really need everybody to be on to have their videos on, please. I want to see our faces because we are interacting. It's not just me talking. It's an interaction, please. All right. So if you have Sarah, come on, Salma, Tolu, Lotola, and all others, please come on with your videos. Thank you very much. I can see that you're hearing me, but I just need you to come on with your videos. So if you have practiced listening before, you have done listening in the last 1 week at any time, can I see a yes? Can you type a yes? All right. Now, if you have had above 30 in your practice, can I see a yes? You've had about 30 in your practice. All right. So if I see 2 yes, that means you had above 30. If I see 1 year, that means you didn't have above 30. I'm not asking for the score. You just add above 30. All right. So for those who have had above 30, I'm going to unmute you now. You will tell me the factors that contributed to your having above 30, and just mention them. Maybe it is good hearing. Just tell us. I want to gather those factors together. Can Rachel help us to do a kind of gathering? Just help us to be typing as they are mentioning it, if that's okay. So right now I can see two people. Okay, yeah, two people responded, Sarah and Oyinlade. All right, so I'm going to unmute you now. I will ask you to unmute. So I will ask Sarah and Oyinlade to unmute. So if you can unmute, just tell me what. So you have a request to unmute now. So you just tell me what was responsible for you to be able to have above. Oyinlade, you have the request to unmute as well, so that you can unmute. So do you want to tell us what factor was responsible for you getting above 30? Rachel, can you help us to write down? Type it up on this screen.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, you mind my background a bit. The children on holiday and they're listening to some things. Just let me concentrate. Okay. Some of the things I think helped me are one, quiet environment. Like I try to wake up very early, maybe when children are still sleeping or when I've not really started the day of activity. Yes. Then I use my headphone, because when you just play without using some words, you will not hear clearly. Then concentration, those periods when they say you have 30 minutes to go through, I make sure I read through. I didn't just waste the time to maybe start numbering. I try to read.
I don't know. It's like there's a pause somewhere. Okay. Sarah, are you able to hear me? So what we have had is clean environment, use of iPods, use of earphones.
Silent environment.
Yeah. But it's like your line is breaking. I don't know why. So okay. While we are waiting to get other things, Sarah, do you want to talk now? I think there's a breakup of the line for.
I'm scoring below 30. I'm not scoring above.
You said 29. 29 is a very close score. So what was your, or what did you do to get that good score, that 29?
I struggle to have the 29, and all I used to do is maintain a quiet environment. Then I want the children not to even knock the door when I'm doing the listening in my room.
That's the quiet environment. She talked about the use of earphones. But you know, in the UK, you're not giving earphones. I hope you're aware of that. If you're writing in the UK, you're not using earphones. It's going to be just played open like that. So for someone that is writing outside of Nigeria, you might not. Of course, in Nigeria, they use earphones. So you are fine. But if you're writing outside Nigeria, you will not be allowed to use earphones. Is that okay? So that is another thing that you should have as a information around that. So let's talk about other things. We have talked about quiet environment. We have talked about use of earphones. All right. There's one key secret you need to know about listening. Are we together, please? And the key secret is you can play a third listener. No, it's not concentration. You can play a third listener. Write it down. I want to talk about playing the third listener. All right. Now, how many of you have watched a movie before, and while the movie was going on, you started to cry? Like you are so, it's so sad that I can't see faces. Yeah, but I wish I can see reaction of people. You have watched a movie, and while the movie was going on, you started to cry. Anybody like that? If I can see a response, I want to see how many people have watched the movie. That you are watching a movie and the movie so much touched you and you started to cry many times. Okay. Olabisi has experienced that before. Any other person that you wept, maybe they're so sad, like you are so moved by the actions that went on, and then you began to weep. Anybody like that apart from Olabisi? All right, Oyinlade, you've heard that before. Any other person? Countless times. Okay. Now, the question I want to ask is, why did you cry? Why did you started to cry? Like, what prompted you to cry? Was it that you just like to cry, or you just wanted to be emotional, or can you give me, can you write it down? One reason that you cried watching the movie. One reason that you cried watching the movie. Okay. Anybody? I want us to be genuine. I want to see responses here. It felt real. It felt real. Yes. Another person. Another reason. The way people are not showing their faces, it's not supporting me at all. All right. So it felt real. Yes. Another reason, please. Are we here together? I was touched. Good. All right. So now, do you know that the reason why you were able to feel moved and you were able to feel touched was because you were playing the role of a third listener. You brought yourself into the scene. So it was more like you were practical, even though it was a movie that they were showing. You forgot that it was a movie. You brought yourself into the scene and you literally were playing a third listener. That is the secret of it that people don't know. Now, if they are talking about someone that traveled to a particular place in Japan, he felt the pain. Yeah. He said somebody was going to Japan and then he met a customer representative who was asking about the luggages. Is it possible to also travel to Japan at that time and see yourself entering together with that person? Is it possible? It's possible. You can transport your mind to Japan. You can together with the person that is traveling to Japan, you can literally feel you are in Japan. You can flow into Japan. It's not like carrying yourself to Japan. Now, this kind of situation is what I call trans-imagination. Are we together? So you almost preempt now, although it is not an emotional conversation, but you can literally bring yourself into the picture. Trans-imagination. Can we try that today? I want to try it. So I'm going to create a scenario, all right, between me and where's my writer? Rachel. And I want you to bring yourself to that scenario. How will you do that? You will try to present a thought about what you think Rachel should have said or done before she gives an answer to my question. Is that okay? Is that possible for everybody? I just the current problem I have now, I don't know how people are following me right now. whether it is only Sarah or Oyinlade, we are struggling. How many are with me right now? Please, if you can turn your video on, since you are not talking, just turn, even if it's turning it to the ceiling of your house, I'm fine. I want to know people that are following right now. Okay, Rachel, can we do this thing together? Eh? Okay. Rachel is not even answering now. Who is happy to have a conversation with me? I want like 3 or 4 people to imagine that I was talking to them, not Rachel. And instead of them to be replying me by the way Rachel will reply me, they should be typing their answer. Is that all right? Is that possible? He's talking to me. Okay. Rachel is not even is not listening to me now. So Sarah, should we do this thing together? Let me pick Sarah. I can't see. Yeah. So let me Chika. You see, if Chika can come on video, it will help. Maybe at least somebody different. Sarah, are you okay to take this journey with me? If I have a yes, okay. Who wants to talk to me? Then other people will just imagine it. Anybody? Just type, I want to talk to you, then I will be able to. If you are available, you are not having anything you are doing, like you can literally talk and all of that. Please do let me know, then you are available, all right? So it's just your face I want to see now so that we can do this. So what your role is just to answer my question. Other people's role is to type the answer. So I'll be speaking to Sarah. Sarah, I've already asked you to unmute, so just unmute. Sarah, I'll be talking to you directly. And while I'm talking to you, I want to see your face if it is possible, so it can be more literal. Other people should just type the answer. Whatever you think Sarah is supposed to say, just type it. Sarah, where's your face? Where's your face? I'm not seeing your face anymore.
It's because I'm just in the kitchen, as I've said.
All right,
This
all
is
right.
the environment kitchen.
All right, good. Thank you.
Okay.
So, good morning, Rachel. How are you today? Everybody,
I'm
just
fine.
type your answer. If you are following this conversation, if you are transmitting, just type your answer as if you are the one I'm talking to. All right. Is that okay? Thank you very much. That's what I'm saying you should do. Okay. All right. So, Sarah, have you been to Dubai before?
Oh no, I don't know the place actually. I've not.
Don't know where Dubai is. All right. What about watching Dubai scenario in the movie? Have you had to watch anything about Dubai in the movie?
I've not, but I do hear my friends discussing such.
All right. So tell me about your discussion with friends relating to Dubai. Generally, just give me one key thing about Dubai that you have known or that you have had.
Yeah, it's a tourist. There are a lot of tourist centers, tourist attractions that one can feel, and they do pay before they are allowed in. Then they talk about the religion aspect, that there are places that you need to cover up very well before you
you
are
go.
allowed to enter some few places. So that's just a few things. And they have their special cuisines. They're not all that tasty. My friend complained about that. So that's
That
all
is
I
not
know about
tasty.
it.
Do you intend to go to Dubai in the future?
I will, but not a priority for now.
Not a priority. Yes, I said in the future. Okay. And what will you likely do when you get to Dubai? Where will you likely visit when you get to Dubai? What's your likely visits? Visit place or visit center. Where will you probably go?
Yeah, I was told about a place, not a rock, but water is gushing out from that point naturally. Not a rock and not a river. And it has been existing for over 50 years. No, let's say 100 years. You
100
just
years.
see the water to be gushing out, large quantity. So
Okay.
people gather to feel it. Imagine how the source, what the source could be. So I would like to see the place and know more about it.
All right. Good. Thank you very much for your conversation. Have a nice day.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Now, everybody, do you know that this is what happens in IELTS listening? Do you know? Like, do you know that this is simply what happens in IELTS listening? Question and answer. It's not an examination. So this person will talk, this person will respond, this person will talk. So if you can imagine the mind of the person they are talking to, you will likely be able to pick the answer before the person even finish what he's saying. Who gets what I just said now? All right. There is one part that it may be difficult to do transimagination, and that is from number 11 to number 20 and number 31 to number 40. The reason is because it's a monologue. Only one person is talking. So in that case, we have to listen to what the person is saying. But in the case of conversation, you can place yourself as a third listener. And so when the person talks, for example, you say, I expect you to submit your research. Have you carried out the project I asked you to carry out? The answer will be that what? Yes or what? Or no. So in your mind, you're already having the mind of yes or no. What has stopped you from doing your research? You're expecting them to give an excuse. There was a particular thing that happened that made me to be busy and I slept off. So you're just going to be envisaging an excuse, and then from whatever they are saying, you pick up your answer. Does it make sense? So without struggle, it is very possible to actually transimagine. But the first thing about transimagine is that you will place yourself in the picture of the listener or of the person that they're talking to, and you will imagine how you would have responded. Now, let me try and read out some of the responses that people give for this particular scenario. Somebody said, Dubai is a tourist center and it's beautiful. Dubai is a good place. Dubai is a business base. And of course, visit place to get good look and buy beautiful things. Now, these are things that naturally people will say if they are asked those kind of questions. But you have already had the answer in your mind. So when they are saying their own answer, you just connect it with whatever you are saying and pick the right thing to do and to say. That's all. Is that all right? Now, this is not applicable to monologue, because in monologue, you are just listening to stuff. But what makes monologue easy and for you to get your answer is very simple. And what is it? TED.com. If you have listened to a lot of the monologues before, it will enhance your hearing capacity and your listening capacity so that you'll be able to flow with the conversation. How many of you have seen TED.com before? TED.com. Who has seen this before? Who has seen that before? If you have not seen that one before, I want you to visit TED.com. All right, and then try and utilize the content there so that you can actually grow in your listening. If you can hear them, you can answer them. That's it. Listening is more like slow dictation, but in this case, what is being dictated is being said, and more like a kind of answer. The answer to the dictation is just in what they are saying. If you can hear it, you have passed. All right. Now look at the way I'm talking right now. You may not likely hear them in this particular way. If they're going to talk, they will talk slightly faster, but not how are you? Where are you going? What happened? What are you doing? No, not that fast. and the accent might be slightly different. Something like treat morning, like the R might just be a little coil. So just watch out for R and A. All right. If you can watch out for R and A, you are easily going to hear them. I want to try and do something for us so that we can understand what I'm trying to say. This is going to help for a lot of people. I'm going to try and play a listening audio for all of us. And I'm going to try and see how we are able to listen to it. It's so easy. If I go to my drive, I should be able to see one listening video easily. Just give me 1 sec. Let me. So I just want us to. I wanted us to see if we can, try out listening to. It's not. I'm not seeing it yet. Just give me a second. Okay. Listening. On this. Let me try this first to see if. Okay. Are you able to hear anything at all? Okay. All right. Hold on 1 minute. Let me see if that comes through. Now, can you hear now?
A lot of struggle getting this together because of the time frame and all that. But
Can we
let's
hear?
try and pay attention to these few things. I'll be doing this video in 5 series. I'll be starting from the introduction. Then I'm speaking about listening, reading, writing. Not to just make it any station. There are different stations that's.
Now, did you hear anything at all? Were we able to hear? Not too loud. Okay. I just tested that. So I'm going to go on the screen and then I'm going to play a proper one right now. Screen, start, YouTube, Cambridge. All right.
Cambridge IELTS 8 by University of Cambridge ESOL Examinations, published by Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyright. CD2.
Now,
Test 3. You will hear a number of different.
Now, are we able to hear? Is it clear? Is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? So what I want you to try to do is to just hear. Don't do anything. Just hear. Like I said to you, the conversation is not fast. It's not too fast and it's not too slow. Secondly, your focus is to know their R and A. R. So if you can note that, you are fine. R and A. Every other thing is normal. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Okay. Water is water, not water. All right. So just note their R and A. You know, sometimes their A is not the way apple. It could be apple, not A. And then their R is not ra. So as if they are they are slowing their tongue. So once you can perceive that, you are fine. All right. So we just continue from where we stopped. I'm able to pick it. Yeah. Let's go.
All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1.
All right. Go on.
Section 1. You will hear an estate agent talking to a customer who wants to rent a house. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 8.
Did you see the word fur? Fur. Did you see that? Oh, we can't hear them. We can't hear at all. Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
We're at college
we
here
hear
for
now?
2 years, and we don't want...
Oh. Okay, hold on. I know what I found.
As soon as possible, really. So that means September 1st.
Okay.
All right. Are we still able to hear? All right.
Right. Could I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Stephen Godfrey.
And tell me how many bedrooms you're looking
Can
for.
we hear now?
Well, we'd need 4 because I'm
If
going
you
to
can hear
share
me,
the
let's
house
like
with
this.
3
If I want to
friends.
like this. If you can hear me. All right.
The number of bedrooms needed is 4, so 4 has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 8.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Hello. I'm interested in renting a house somewhere in the town.
Right. Could I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Stephen Godfrey.
So try to put yourself as Stephen Godfrey. So right now, you are what? Stephen Godfrey. Does that make sense? So whatever Stephen Godfrey is being asked, you want to picture what answer you're going to give while you're trying to pick what Stephen Godfrey is going to say. Is that all right? That's what we want to do now. Are you ready? Are we ready? Nod and let me see you are ready. Just nod. Are you ready? Good. Let's go. Let's go.
And tell me how many bedrooms you're looking for.
Well, we'd need 4 because I'm going to share the house with 3 friends.
OK. There are several of that size on our books. They mostly belong to families who are working abroad at the moment. What about the location?
It'd be nice to be central.
Oh, that might be difficult, as most houses of that size are in the suburbs. Still, there are a few. What's your upper limit for the rent?
We'd like something around £500 a month, but we could go up to £600 if we have to. But we can't go beyond that.
Do you know how long you want to rent the house for? The minimum let is 6 months, as you probably realise.
We're at college here for 2 years, and we don't want to have to move during that time if we can avoid it.
Right. And how soon do you want to move in? All our lets start on the 1st of the month.
Well, as soon as possible, really, so that means September 1st.
OK. Let me have a look at what we've got. We have photographs of all...
Now, how many of us observe that you are making yourself Stephen Godfrey makes you to get the answer faster? Who saw that? You see that it's easier to pick the answer compared to if you are waiting to hear what Stephen Godfrey will say. You already imagining what Stephen Godfrey will say before you even position yourself to even hear what he was saying. And so that when he was saying what he was saying, it's sometimes even what you are thinking or similar to it. Do you get the picture now? And that is what works for this kind of essay. You will need to preempt and make yourself the third listener. Is that clear? So I will stop that now. I just wanted us to play out. But let me fast forward to section 3.
Or fluency in Spanish.
Well, as I'm combining Spanish with Latin American studies, my main idea was to find out more about the way people lived there. My spoken Spanish was already pretty good, in fact.
So you weren't too worried about language barriers?
No. In fact, I ended up teaching English there, although that wasn't my original choice of work.
I see. How did you find out about all this?
I found an agency that runs all kinds of voluntary projects in South America.
What kind of work?
Well, there were several possibilities.
You mean construction, engineering work?
Yes, getting involved in building projects was an option. Then there was tourism, taking tourists for walks around the volcanoes, which I actually chose to do, and then there was work with local farmers.
But you didn't continue with that project. Why not?
Because I never really knew whether I'd be needed or not. I'd thought it might be difficult physically, but I was certainly fit enough. Now, I wanted to do something that had more of a proper structure to it, I suppose. I get demotivated otherwise.
What do you think you learned from your experience? It must have been a great opportunity to examine community life.
Yes, but it was difficult at first to be accepted by the locals. It was a very remote village, and some of them were reluctant to speak to me, although they were always interested in my clothes and how much I had to pay for them.
Well, that's understandable.
Yes, but things soon improved. What struck me was that when people became more comfortable with me and less suspicious, we really connected with each other in a meaningful way.
You made good friends?
Yes, with 2 of the families in particular.
Good. What about management? Did you have a project manager?
Yes, and he gave me lots of advice and guidance.
And was he good at managing too?
That wasn't his strong point. I think he was often more interested in the academic side of things than filing reports. He was a bit of a dreamer.
And did you have a contract?
I had to stay for a minimum of 3 months. My parents were surprised when I asked to stay longer, 6 months in the end. I was so happy there.
And did anything on the administration side of things surprise you? What was the food and lodging like?
Simple, but there was plenty to eat, and I only paid $7 a day for that, which was amazing, really. And they gave me all the equipment I needed, even a laptop.
You didn't expect that then?
No.
Well, I'll look forward to hearing more.
Right, so
Before you hear
let me stop there. How many of us are able to see a bit of a difference perspective to our hearing? Because playing the role of a third listener can help you to catch the answers more. You will not be interested so much in what the person asking is saying. Right now, you'll be interested so much in what the person that is answering is saying, because you're also trying to frame up an answer. And that brings you together to that particular person. So I'd like you to walk around playing the role of third listener for your section 1 and section 3. It reduces your pressure on you, and it helps you to be able to get a more strategic perspective to picking your answer at the end. I hope that is clear and all right. Yeah. So do you have anybody having questions on this line? Like you have a thought, you have something you want to ask or clarify about playing the role of third listener, trust imagination. Who have a concern or complaint or thoughts that you want to share about that? Anybody? You can ask via the notes, and you can also ask directly. If you want to ask directly, let me know so I can raise up your hand using the hand icon. How do I play the role of third listener? Okay, so since I have answered this, let somebody answer. Can okay, Scholar, were you able to catch my conversation about playing the role of third listener? Okay, you came a bit late. Sunday, can you help answer that question? Yeah, all right. So let me unmute you now, and then you will try and answer. All right. So, yeah, go on.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Yeah.
What you say was that being a third listener and being the shoe or the third person in that place when the thing, the conversation is going on, and then being listening to it, that you're the third person in between it, listening to it, then you're able to know ahead what the person is talking about, then you're able to comprehend it and say the right, you're able to answer what the person is trying to say there.
Okay. So trying to imagine what the answer of the third listener is likely to be, and creating the answer in your mind as a template to now pick the answer of the person that is listening. Now, obviously the person may not give the answer that you are giving. It may be something different, but you will not be far from the answer, and that will even make it difficult for you to be carried away. Am I making sense? It will be difficult for you to be lost, or to be overwhelmed, or to be distracted, because you are trying to follow the train of thoughts of the listener. Does that make sense? So that is exactly what it is. It's quite simple, but it's also requiring, what I call it trans imagination. That is, carry yourself. And I asked a question earlier that who has watched a movie and cried before? And most people said they have. And I said, why? Because you were touched. Why were you touched? Because you thought you were in the scene and you thought the movie was real. Actually, it was a movie, but you thought it was real, and you actually brought yourself into the scene. That was why you were actually moved to cry. Is that okay? And that is the same principle that comes with this one. So you have to take yourself to the place where the conversation is and begin to imagine, if it was you they were talking to, what will be your answer? For example, this guy they were talking to, they were saying, or they were asking him that what was the major issue he had about the committee, and he began to talk about the issue of trust. Very normal. They didn't trust him initially, but at some point they began to trust him. It's common to any community that you go for project. They want to, first of all, who are you? The hope is not want to take our money and all of that. And of course, but after a while, so even with that one you are thinking, you have already seen the answer, trust. You understand? Okay, what surprised your parents about the whole thing? Well, they gave me extension. You understand? They said I should stay a bit more, and I was happy about it. You see the extension, very clear. So it will even make your answer to be even easier because you're already thinking in the mindset. You already putting yourself into the mindset of the listener. All right. Do we have any other question apart from that? I think I've answered that question from Obodja, I believe. Any other question aside that, please? All right. I do not see anybody asking any question. Okay, so just before I round off, tomorrow morning, our reading conference continues, 5 a.m. in the morning, quite early. I expect that you are able to attend. It's good, it's free, and we have studied the particular perspective on how we are dealing with reading. And I mean, hopefully we're going to have more people to come in to be part of the class. Try and invite people to come. We will truly enjoy it. And then by 10 o'clock tomorrow, that's tomorrow morning, we'll be having our sponsors class. That's the second class for the month of March. All right. If you have friends that probably still want to join the sponsored class, let them know. Tomorrow is going to be very intense because we are going to be bringing a new perspective into our pattern of dealing with listening. I'm going to be trying to bring it from a bit of a different perspective. I'm going to be coming from more practical perspective like we did today. And for those of us that have been struggling with listening, we are about to get free from listening problem because it's going to be so easy in our class tomorrow. And the class time is 10 a.m. Try and invite your friends who have not been part of I observed that most people they are trying to join the sponsored class, but they have not made the payment because once you make the payment, you will be added to the class. So why not be part of it and let's see how we can get better with our listening. All right, so I've been talking about the OSCE self-sponsored pathway. And the reason I'm talking about it is because on Monday, the price will shift. Time is quite of early, I know. It's intentional. Like I said, most people are not understanding the reason why we are making it that okay, so can we agree to make it 6 a.m. tomorrow? Okay. Since somebody is begging for this, all right. All right. We will consider doing that. Is that all right? But it's only tomorrow. It's only tomorrow. It's not continual. It's only tomorrow. So we consider that. We consider that. All right. So like I was talking about the OSCE self-sponsored pathway. Now, so that I won't just talk bluntly, and I won't be talking to less people. Do we have anybody here that does not know anything about the OSCE self-sponsored pathway? Like you don't know anything about it, and you truly want to know? Anybody? If there's nobody, I will not talk about it. Second question: do you have anybody here that knows about it and perhaps is having some form of interest in it? If you don't have anybody, I won't talk about it, so that I won't. So if you don't know about it before and you want to know, I will talk about it, so that I don't end up talking and nobody's listening. Secondly, you want to know about it, or you know about it and you want to, probably you have some interest, you just want to make some clarity around it. Yeah. With the other class still owed by 10, yes, it's still going to be 10. It's not going to shift. It's still going to be 10. It's still going to be 10. All right. So 6, 10, 6 to 7, 10 to 11 or 11:30. All right. You know, people said you don't know about the self-sponsored pathway. All right. I will be talking about it shortly. And do we have anybody apart from those two people who know about it? and you have some interest about it. Anybody like that, you know, and you have some interest. Wow, people that don't know about us quite a lot. You're welcome, Ify. Thank you very much too. All right. You know about it, you've heard about it before, and you have some interest around it. Anybody like that? Anybody like that? You know, you have seen my highlights, you have seen my billboards, my infographics around it, and you appear to be like, oh, this thing is quite good, and you are interested. Anybody like that? You don't, my God. You heard about it? Okay. Any other person who has heard about it and is interested? Okay. So that it can be easy, I will just go via the infograph method and then make it easy. All right. So this is what it's all about. Okay. So basically, what we are intending to do is to create a platform that makes it very easy for those who probably wants to, you know, what did I just do now? I open and I close it back. By that. All right, so this is it. All right. So we are creating a platform that makes it easy to, you know, get nurses to get jobs in the UK. Is that okay? Is that clear enough? So we want nurses to be able to get the job opportunity that is available in the UK. So it requires a number of steps, and I want to take it one after the other. The first step is that you must have passed IELTS and CBT. But again, you can also, delay your IELTS because it does not require you to have your IELTS before you can have your OSCE, as long as you have passed your CBT. All right. So if you have passed your CBT and you have not passed your IELTS, you can still go for the OSCE pathway. All right. But if you have not passed your if you have not passed your CBT, it's going to be a bit dicey, and it's not advised that you go for it yet. All right. So after you have done you have passed your CBT and you want to go for this self-sponsored pathway, the next thing you will need to do that is very crucial is that you should, make a payment of 250. Now this is 500 that is written here, but right now, between now and Sunday, this particular payment is 250 for coaching and advisory roles, and then you'll be linked with your coach who will present you a timetable of 10 weeks. Now, if you are currently in Nigeria, this particular 10 weeks is 3 months, okay? Then the first 2 weeks, the first 8 weeks, which is the first 2 months, is going to be online meetings and practical teachings based on OSCE examination. And then the last 2 weeks, which is the last 1 month, will be practical exposure to mock tests and further advice based on evaluation and assessment. So within the last 2 weeks, you will pick a date to travel to a physical venue for your OSCE mock examination. That is in the UK. You are expected to be in the UK then. And then the candidate is advised to book a 10 weeks. Now, so for you to be able to plan your OSCE examination, at the time you are making payments for the class, you are also making payments for your OSCE examination. Remember, the OSCE training is 10 weeks. You are expected to also book within 10 weeks to your OSCE. So you have 10 weeks gap between the time of your OSCE booking and your OSCE examination. That 10 weeks gap is what we want to utilize to be your mock, your OSCE training. All right. And we have a preferred center called the center is called Ulster University, currently in Northern Ireland, UK. All right. So if you are taking the OSCE, you can visit the UK for up to 6 months to take your OSCE. So that is what we are after. We are going to be arranging for you to visit the UK within 6 months for you to take the OSCE. And of course, once you have paid for your OSCE, you have a letter And that letter is a letter that confirms that you have paid for your OSCE and you are actually going to be writing it in the UK. So once you have that letter, you also are expected to have a passport, of course, a valid passport, and the valid passport, the passport must be valid for all your time you are in the UK. So it's not a passport that will expire by the end of the year. No, maybe like a year or 2 years. Okay, and after the visit, you leave the UK. Then and of course, you should prove that you can support yourself and your dependents, or have a funding from someone else to support you. And of course, you are able to pay for your return on onward journey. That is, somebody you must be able to have your ticket money to go and come. And of course, you will not live in UK more than the time. Neither will you also make UK your home. All right. So if you have if you have applied for standard visa, you must apply for the standard visa online before you travel to the UK, depending on your nationality. You may not need a visa to visit UK. That is, if you are from Europe countries. Check. So this is also for those who probably do not know whether they need visa or not. So, in short, the simple thing about it is that we are trying to Hello? Can we still hear me? All right. If you can, just wave your hands. If you can hear me, just wave your hands. Am I still muted? Okay, you can hear me now? All right. Okay. All right. So we are creating a pathway for nurses who have been stuck because of job issues to get to the UK, have their OSCE, get their PIN, and apply for jobs. I'll say that again. We are creating a pathway for nurses who have passed their IELTS and their CBT, but who are currently stuck in Nigeria due to issues relating to job limitation, to have the opportunity to go to the UK, write their OSCE, pass, have their PIN, and apply for jobs, possibly before they come back. For some of these people, they might have their job before they come back. Why for those people, they might not even need to come back after they have gotten their jobs. Does that make sense? Based on the prayer that they put on themselves to get a job before they come, after they have gotten their PIN. So what are the factors that are limiting this particular pathway? Number one, if you have not done your verification. Currently, verification is an issue in Nigeria, and because it's an issue in Nigeria, most people are stuck. So they are not able to write their CBT, because CBT is important for you to be able to use this pathway. So if you have not done your CBT, there is a crisis on ground due to this particular limitation. But if you have done your CBT, you are fine. The second limitation is if your OSCE, if your CBT or your verification is probably 2 years or longer. You understand? And you need to write a second CBT to confirm that you are still able to understand these things. But let me now tell you the thing about it. That's the more reason why you need to go from this pathway. Because once you have written OSCE, your CBT can never expire again. What is making your CBT to expire is because you are taking too long before you write OSCE. Once your CBT is 2 years, you cannot write OSCE again. You have to write another CBT to write OSCE. All right? And when it comes to OSCE, IELTS is not important. Yes, it is possible to write OSCE before you pass your IELTS. But let me now tell you the reason why you might need to go through that pathway. if you say you want to wait for 2 years, when you will now need to go ahead and write the exam, the OSCE, they will ask you to write your CBT again, because your CBT must be within 2 years before you can write your OSCE. Does that make sense? So for those people that are now currently in Nigeria who have done their CBT and they have not seen job opportunity, you don't need to wait further. Take your CBT, travel to the UK, get your OSCE done. Once you get your OSCE done, you have your PIN. But if you have not done IELTS, after your OSCE, you need to do IELTS to pass. That is when you can have your PIN. So the best suited candidates for this option are people. I will need to record this now so that at least I can pause it. There are people. So the best candidate for this option, there are people who have, number one, sat for CBT and passed, and the CBT is still within 2 years. Number two, you have sat for IELTS and you have passed, and your IELTS is still within 2 years. If you are in that category of people, among those category of people, you are the best for this. And the way you can utilize your best opportunity is to get money, apply for OSCE, go to the UK, sit for it, pass it, get your PIN, get a job, and continue your life. Instead of waiting 1 year, 2 years, no opportunity. So what are the open privileges you are putting up for this? What are the open strategies you are putting up for this? The first strategy you are putting up for this is the strategy of giving a very little amount for OSCE training, and that is the £250. The amount for OSCE training, based on the amount that we are taking, is like not taking money at all. That £250 is like not taking money at all. Because, number one, my OSCE trainers are certified from Nursing Council, and some of them have also been examiners. Why I'm actually importing an examiner to be part of the to be the one that is helping with the mock. So the amount I'm taking is not realistic in real life, and that's the reason why from April the amount will move to £500. So what I'm now doing is that those who are able to utilize the privilege between now and 31st, they can enter that window of privilege, £250. Whether or not you have the money for the OSCE, just to tie your place, with the set that probably will be doing the OSCE training, so that while you enter into that particular set with that £250, you are able to have the training with that low amount, and then you get the money for your OSCE in the process, and you apply for your OSCE. Does that make sense? So this is whether you have passed IELTS or not. If you have passed IELTS, good for you. If you have not passed IELTS, no problem. But you are able to enter that window. It's just 3 days time, because I've been saying this one for a few days, for a few number of weeks, and because of the fact that more people are coming in, and I have to pay my tutors, it was becoming intangible for me to sustain that amount I was taking. If it was me that was taking, if I was one taking the OSCE, it was easy for me. But I have tutors for the adult nursing, 2 or 3 of them. I have tutors for the mental health nursing. I also have an examiner, and I'm paying them every week for the training. I'm not paying them I'm paying them weekly. So the amount that I'm taking does not have any capacity to sustain that strategy, which is the reason why I said, okay, if we have people that are still desperate enough, they can enter that window, and I can struggle and smuggle myself in between. But when it is April 1, we take the price to £500, which is more like around, maybe close to what could be manageable. Not that that's even okay. but we can still manage that to be able to fund the tutors and the examiner that is going to be observing the class for them. You understand? So what I'm now saying is this. I believe that we all have intentions around our choices. And if you are really looking out for something, if you really want it, you go for it. Except the thing is not that important. If it's really important, you go for it. So which is why I'm creating that window. Somebody chatted me today and said, sir, I'm happy to go for this option, but I do not have the full amount. And can I pay this amount now and then I'll pay the rest later? Now that is someone that really wants to do it, you know. It's not like someone that just I beg you, when is whatever, I will get the money. You see that person is not ready. You understand? But if there is intention, you will push, you will ask questions, you will try to, and that's why even on that page where I put up the OSCE sponsorship inquiries, I sent a message there. If you have 20 people, let me see your thoughts. But not everybody might be able to have that capacity. So many things can come, you know. If you want something, you can think a lot of you around it. Okay, can we do it this way? Can we do it this way? What about this way? Because you want it. But if you don't ask questions, how will I know your mind? You understand? This is the best I can do on my own part. Because I feel that most people are just being held down in Nigeria. In fact, I had people who are writing it the second time now because the IELTS that they used has expired. You understand? And you know, it is quite discouraging after you have stressed yourself to have to write IELTS, and then you have to write it the second time because you know you are struggling to get a job and job didn't come your way. You understand? So which is why I'm saying, you know, we can create this pathway. The pathway is already created, but the pressure now is that you don't want to spend £500 in April. You want to spend £250 now, and you want to be supported with all the whatever. This is the best opportunity for you to not spend that amount. Whatever you can do, try to do it so that you can actually be part of this opportunity before we enter into the April window when it becomes that amount. Because there's one that will change that amount, except I want to be deceiving myself with the tutors I'm having, or I want to send them away. You understand? So it has come to stay. The pathway has come to stay. This class has come to stay. But the cost of the training is still $250. And that $250 right now is within the range of about maybe 400K in Naira, thereabouts, if not less. And Naira, I think pounds has really come down a bit. So that can also be a major advantage because it used to be 500 plus, but now I think pounds has come down. The last time somebody did the calculation, I think it was 410,000, something like that. Yeah. So which makes it quite, you know, an advantage. You understand? So this is not just for people that are listening now. You know, someone that has passed IELTS and CBT, be looking for a job for 1 year. Job is not opening. Let the person come through this pathway. Let the person come through this pathway. It's a pathway that works. Let the person come through this path. Don't say, we are praying. I know you are praying. But the truth is that, you know, 5 years ago, I was in UK 2006 to visit my mom. I went for visits. While I was in the UK, I wrote IELTS. All right. If I had passed writing, the employers were waiting to jab me like this. I'm telling you, if I had passed writing, that would have been it. They were just waiting. Immediately I did, but I made a call and they said, what was your IELTS score? And I was telling them, okay, my IELTS score, 6. Once they had 6 in writing like this, that was the end of the conversation. You get my point now? So that was visit. I went for visits. Back then, IELTS was gold. Now, IELTS is no longer as golden as that time. Although you can't get your PIN without IELTS anyway. You get it. But you can actually get your OSCE. And with your OSCE, it's just a matter of putting yourself under pressure to get your IELTS and then you move. Do you understand? So now it is possible. Even on the gov.uk, you can get a standard visa, a standard visitor's visa to go to the UK purely because you want to write OSCE. Not because you want to do anything, just because there's a window of visa that gives room for you to travel to UK to write OSCE. Not for visit, just to write OSCE. And that is why this thing is online, why it is permittable, utilize, because when people start pursuing this pathway and it becomes popular, you can be sure these guys, what they will do, they will just withdraw it. They will just say, well, since people have discovered that one, they will close it down. I get my point now. And now Husky is still golden. People are still pursuing nurses with Husky and pain. Now, it is better that we utilize it before it becomes less golden. This is the best time to go for it. You understand? All right. So I just thought to share this. If you have anyone that ask any question, I'll be happy to answer your question now. But like I said, don't miss this opportunity. Don't give any excuse whatsoever to say you miss opportunity, especially the fact that there is this particular amount that is currently being tied to the £250. Whether it is going to be you want to go and take a loan, it's a worthy loan. And I was telling somebody that in 2 months of staying in the UK, you pay all your debts. 2 months of working, you pay all your debts, because the first 4 months of your stay in the UK, you are not paying tax. The first 4 months. So all your money comes to you like that, the way they are paying you, Pam, it will come to you just like that. You know, and if you are very wise like me that time, and you are doing extra shift, Baba, you'll be rich man, you know. You know, I was telling somebody some days ago, or maybe 2 days ago, I said my highest salary to date in the UK is £4,200. And guess when I took that salary? That was my first year. This is my 4th year in UK now. My first year, it's the 3rd month of my, because I was 2 years like I have a lot of money to pay. I was just doing agency, no agency, doing that overtime, 4,200. When you think landing my car like this, I was like, oh my God. And if you take that kind of money, that's about 8.4 million. You see, what kind of do you want to pay? But to make matter beautiful, I wasn't paying house rent, you know, because 3 months into UK, okay, I began to pay house rent. I took my 3rd month. But if you actually have a supportive employer, they won't ask you to pay house rent for the first 3 months. So if you have that kind of money, and remember, you are starting your work as a nurse, not as a care worker. You already have your pin. You get the picture. So it's not like, okay, unlike we that we decided did the enhanced care work for 2 months. You are starting your work as a nurse. So your first salary is 2,117. If you now add overtime with it in 2nd, 3rd month, by 2nd month, you are taking maybe 3,000 or 2,500. With that one, there is no debt that you now have to pay, especially if they support you with house. So by the time you now divide the money, okay, this one, let me just save this one for house rent. Then let me now save this one to pay debt. You are done. 3 months, you are done. So, and that's why I said, it's not something you are thinking. If you have any access to the money, get it. You can discuss with friends who can support you to just stay with them. And if friends are not supportive, just give me your address. If you enter the UK with some money, you will get very cheap hotel accommodations. And they are not even proper hotels, they are houses. But people give them out as hotels. The amount they pay for those places are very, very low. Maybe like for like maybe 10 days, you pay like maybe £200. Very low. You spend low money and you're able to stay on your own if you want to cook and all of that. So my own role is to support. In whatever I can do, I will support you. Not that I will give you food though, but I will support you in every capacity I can, in my own within my capacity of strength. So that if somebody say, okay, let me give you address, but you won't stay in my house, don't worry. If you get enough money, we get B&B for you. You within the time you are in the UK, you stay in the B&B and you get some support here and there for food, where you can get cheap food and all of that, and you know, you can. So, like I said, if you don't start, you won't finish. You get it? People are saying, you see, companies complaining. Start something. Maybe just for the first say, let me hang this Husky training. Maybe by the time I hold the Husky training, I know that I'm going to write Husky. Though I've not had the money yet, but let me continue the journey. As you are moving, Husky training, the money for Husky will come. As you are going, you start the visa process. You get the point. Before you know it, 5 months, you're already in the UK. You do your Husky, you pass, you get your pin, and that's so. Do you have anybody that has question about this particular pathway? I've said what I wanted to say, and I want people to ask their questions. So if you have a question, you can type it and I will answer. Is it possible you have answered that one? So if you can type your question and we answer. If you have a friend that needs to come through this pathway, please, I want to beg you, send this video to that friend. I will send the video up now. Let the friend watch it and make up their mind. There's no point delaying. There's no point delaying. These last 3 days, if you have someone that is having this issue, you have done OSCE and you have done or you have people in the UK, you understand, who are independent and they're looking for people that will support them, or they are students. You understand? They came for masters and they're looking for how to pass OSCE. This is a pathway. These 3 days is a good opportunity for you. Get this video to them. Let them, before it is April 1, they not say, sorry, sorry. There's no sorry in April 1, no. What if hydration has been done? Okay, you mean, I don't understand what hydration. Do you mean you have person done yet? Or do you want to answer a question verbally? Let me just unmute you. If you so that you can ask verbally. So you can unmute and ask your question. I didn't get the question very well. Press mute and ask the question. Go on.
Okay, good afternoon.
You're welcome, madam.
Yes. It's like, although I joined I wasn't around when you started, but it's like when I was reading through the leaflet, you said that we were going to pay maybe probably £80 or so for registration of IELTS.
If the person has not done IELTS, this is that package I put up there is for person that's not done IELTS before. It's a nurse that has not done IELTS before, and he wants to be supported. He wants to be guided to do IELTS. You understand? That kind of person, you want to do OSCE, you want to do IELTS. These are 2 things, okay? So for me to train you for your IELTS, that is the amount I wanted to take for that person, that I will train you for your IELTS, and then we will pay for you and you pass and all that. Secondly, while you are doing that, we'll be training you for your OSCE. So it's like creating a 2-window pathway for that person. But it's not compulsory to go for the IELTS training. Especially if you are sure of yourself that you don't need the IELTS training, or if you have passed your IELTS, there's no point going for IELTS training if you have passed your IELTS before. You understand? So that is just to deal with the IELTS training for such kind of people who have never had IELTS before. They have done their CBT, they have passed, but they have not done IELTS before, and they want to pass IELTS. Because this thing, once you pass your OSCE, the next thing is to get your PIN. But if you have not gotten your IELTS, you can't get your PIN. So that is where the middle rope is coming from. You understand? So to support to get your PIN, you need to pass IELTS. But you can do your OSCE without, and mind you, once you do your OSCE, your CBT can never expire forever. And OSCE does not expire. OSCE result does not expire. Once you have done it, you have done it. Nothing like, your OSCE has spent 10 years. So no. So the only thing is just to get your PIN. Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So, do we have any other person sending that question? Whatever. Any other? Okay, I think somebody dropped a question. Is that okay? Yeah. So I believe there's no other questions. Can I assume there are no other questions? Can I safely assume there are no other questions? All right. So thank you, everyone. Like I said, I will put this video up shortly. Send to friends that need it. Please don't let anybody waste this opportunity. If you are up for it, run for it. Run. Oh. If you can run for it, run for it. Exactly. Don't delay. Okay. So thank you very much. So we meet tomorrow 6 a.m. as people have advocated for 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. for the sponsored class. All right. Thank you again. Bye-bye.